What's up, my comic comrades? This Friday marks the return of two of the most iconic characters in Star Wars mythology, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader, with the premiere of the Disney Plus ObiWan Kenobi series. The anticipation is pretty huge for most Star Wars fans, including us, to see Vader as a now powerful Sith Lord hunting down his former Jedi Master. So we're pretty excited over here on Planet Variant to absorb it with our icicles. I mean, come on. It's the rematch of the century with Kenobi versus freaking Darth Vader. Even my dog Gus is ready. Like his father before him, he too chose the dark side. Yes, I watch Star Wars with my dog. Like you don't? He's like my own personal Chewbacca. In fact, the good people over at Bark recently sent us their new Star Wars subscription Bark boxes and Super Chewer boxes. So now our dogs can also choose to join the Rebel Alliance or the Empire. Hey, we all have to choose eventually. But seriously, these Star Wars Bark Box and Super Chewer subscription boxes are stupid fun for those of us who are dog owners and Star Wars fans. Every item in the boxes are inspired by the original Star Wars trilogy, and you have the choice between the Jedi or the Bark side version of either the Bark Box or the Super Chewer subscription. Regardless of which you go with, each comes with awesome Star Wars themed toys for your dog to chew on and play with, as well as great Star Wars treats for them to munch on while you're downing your bowl of popcorn. The Star Wars Bark Boxes come with plush and squeaker toys based on the side you choose, like R2-D2, Darth Vader, Jabba the Hutt, or Chewbacca. And the Star Wars Super Chewer boxes also come with chew and fetch toys like these Jedi or Bark side lightsabers, fetch and squeak character rubber toys like this Rebel helmet, and this rubber squeak chew toy of Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. And you could choose your Bark Box or Box Super Chewer box based on the size of your pooch. So no matter the size of your dog, they can join you in a galaxy far, far away. So if you're both a Star Wars fan and dog owner like we are, go to barkbox.com/variant and or superchewer.com/variant and check it out for yourself. And when you use our link, you'll get a free extra toy in your Bark Box or Super Chewer box each month with a 6-month plan. Again, that's barkbox.com/variant and superchewer.com/variant. Now let's continue the festivities with the history of Obi-Wan Kenobi, one of the greatest Jedi Masters of all time. First and foremost, we will only be focusing on the canon history of Kenobi and not every lesser-known licensed Star Wars book and comic that's been written over the decades, which today is officially classified as Star Wars Legends. Alongside the Star Wars movies, the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series is part of Star Wars' main canon continuity and not Legends. With that said, Obi-Wan Kenobi first appeared in 1977 Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope and was created by the one and only George Lucas. Obi-Wan was also known as Ben Kenobi. The character was portrayed by Alec Guinness in the original Star Wars trilogy, and then later in the prequels trilogy, a younger version of Kenobi was played by Ewan McGregor, who will be reprising his role as the iconic character in the Disney Plus series. Then of course we have James Arnold Taylor, who voiced Obi-Wan Kenobi in the iconic The Clone Wars animated series. But now let's look at Obi-Wan's beginnings with our origin segment. Like all Jedi, Obi-Wan started as a youngling. We even see him as such on the first page of the comic Star Wars Age of the Republic, Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you weren't aware, any Marvel Star Wars comic that was published after Disney's purchase of Lucasfilm is part of Star Wars canon. In any case, during this flashback sequence, we get a glimpse of a young Obi-Wan Kenobi meditating with his fellow younglings. As for those who trained Obi-Wan, well, we know that originally he was trained by Jedi Master Yoda, as Obi-Wan mentions this in The Empire Strikes Back. He literally tells Luke, "There you will learn from Yoda, the Jedi Master who instructed me." He also mentions how Yoda taught him in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, when Qui-Gon tells him, "Don't center on your anxieties, Obi-Wan. Keep your concentration here and now where it belongs." Obi-Wan replies, "But Master Yoda said I should be mindful of the future." Qui-Gon tells him, "But not at the expense of the moment. Be mindful of the living Force, young Padawan." So that is yet another instance where Obi-Wan says that Yoda instructed him along with Qui-Gon. But as all Star Wars fans know, Obi-Wan would be assigned to Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn, as we see a young Obi-Wan Kenobi as a Padawan to Jinn in The Phantom Menace. Speaking of Star Wars Episode 1, that's the first time we would see Obi-Wan Kenobi, chronologically speaking, in the Star Wars film franchise. So of course, that's where we're beginning. Now, as I just mentioned, in The Phantom Menace, we learned that before Obi-Wan became a Jedi Master, he was a Padawan to Qui-Gon Jinn. And in the film, the two Jedi are sent to settle a dispute between the Trade Federation and the planet Naboo. But guess what? Those negotiations didn't end up happening because the Sith Lord known as Darth Sidious already set in motion the Trade Federation's blockade of the planet and ordered the Jedi to be killed. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon clearly survived this trap because Jedi, and then fled and met up with Queen Padme Amidala of Naboo. They would then head to Tatooine, where they would cross paths with Anakin Skywalker, a young slave boy who Qui-Gon sensed was unusually strong with the Force. Anakin even helped Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Padme help pay for the parts they needed for their starship by winning a pod race. After this, Jinn would take Anakin with him back to Coruscant, as he thought he was the chosen one and wanted to train him to be a Jedi. But he did not get the Jedi Council's approval, so he told Anakin, "I'm not allowed to train you, so I want you to watch me and be mindful. Always remember, Your focus determines your reality. Stay close to me and you'll be safe. Anyway, long story short, Queen Amidala was like, I have to go back to my planet Naboo and take it back from the Trade Federation. So of course Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan escort her. But to Jin and Kenobi's surprise, when they arrive on Naboo, they are met by the Sith named Darth Maul, who will not allow them to take the planet back. This leads to an epic lightsaber duel where we see Darth Maul ignite his iconic double-bladed lightsaber for the first time. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan then start tag teaming Maul, but eventually Qui-Gon is forced to fight Maul all by his lonesome, as Obi-Wan is trapped behind a force field wall. At which point Maul gets the upper hand on Jin and kills him by stabbing him through the chest. This obviously saddens as well as pisses off Obi-Wan, and once the force field is down, he starts fighting Maul. At first it seems Obi-Wan is going to lose just like his master before him, but he's able to turn the tables by cutting Maul in half with Qui-Gon's saber nonetheless. Obi-Wan then runs over to Qui-Gon, who is dying, and holds him in his arms as Qui-Gon says, "It's too late. Obi-Wan, promise me you will train the boy." Obi-Wan says, "Yes, master." Qui-Gon then tells him he is the chosen one. He will bring balance. Train him, as he dies in Obi-Wan's arms. After this, we see Obi-Wan meet with Yoda alone, and he's granted the title of Jedi Knight, but also shares that he doesn't agree with Anakin being his Padawan. Obi-Wan then shares that Qui-Gon believed in him and he promised that he would train him, with or without the Jedi Council's blessing. He says that even after Yoda says he may be the chosen one, but fears grave danger in his training. So Yoda, knowing Obi-Wan's gonna do it either way, decides to give him the Council's blessing. And with that, Anakin became Obi-Wan's Padawan. And this effectively gives us the origins and beginnings of Obi-Wan's history. So let's move on to story arcs, where we'll pick up with Marvel's Obi-Wan and Anakin comic. In 2016, Marvel started publishing the Obi-Wan and Anakin comic. It's a canon 5-issue miniseries written by Charles Soule and illustrated by Marco Cecchetto. The book is set 3 years after Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace, and it focuses on Obi-Wan Kenobi and his Padawan Anakin Skywalker. We see they're exploring the planet Cornelian Fort to answer a mysterious distress call. The series features flashbacks scattered across each issue, which detail the building of Anakin's trust in Supreme Chancellor Palpatine. It's a fantastic bridge between The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. Speaking of this brings us directly to Star Wars Episode 2: Attack of the Clones, which takes place 10 years after The Phantom Menace. Here we obviously see a more mature Obi-Wan. The two of them have been assigned as security detail for Senator Padme Amidala after someone tried to kill her. Then after a second attempt, Obi-Wan and Anakin follow the attacker, a bounty hunter named Zam Wesell. But the bounty hunter is killed with a toxic dart shot by an unknown assassin before she could give any information on who hired her. Obi-Wan then started investigating and found out the dart came from the planet Kamino, that was mysteriously erased from the Jedi archives. He then makes his way there and discovers a clone army had been created for the Republic. Apparently had been commissioned by Jedi Master Sifo Dyas, who had been dead for around a decade. Obi-Wan also finds out the genetic blueprint for the clone army was bounty hunter Jango Fett, the father of Boba Fett. Obi-Wan then puts together that Jango was the one who killed Zam Wesell. You see, Jango was working for Count Dooku and hired Wesell to kill Padme, but then had to kill her when she was about to give up who hired her. Anyway, Obi-Wan puts together that Jango Fett is the one who killed her, which leads to a fight outside in the planet's never-ending reign, but the bounty hunter escaped with his son Boba Fett and his ship, the Slave One, to the planet Geonosis. Obi-Wan then followed him unbeknownst to Jango. Once Obi-Wan arrives on the planet, he discovers a conspiracy of star systems that are bent on revolution against the Republic, led by the Jedi turned Sith, Count Dooku. Dooku was actually the Jedi Master that trained Qui-Gon, so that's pretty crazy. Obi-Wan then sends the Jedi Council a message which Anakin and Padme also watch and learn that Kenobi was captured during said hologram message. After this, we see that Obi-Wan has been sentenced to death by Dooku. But as we know from the original trilogy, which takes place way after the events of Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan makes it out somehow. We see that after Anakin and Padme arrive to save their friend and fail, they also get captured by Dooku and his forces, such as hired gun Jango Fett. The Jedi Order shows up along with their newly acquired clone army to save the day and rescue Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Padme. Once rescued by the Republic's clone army, Obi-Wan and Anakin hunt down Dooku, who's trying to escape. When they find him, ignoring Obi-Wan's order of taking him down together, Anakin charges Dooku, causing Anakin to be thrown back by Dooku's force lightning, which leaves Obi-Wan to fight Dooku one-on-one. Obi-Wan holds his own at first, but eventually gets hit by Dooku's lightsaber in the arm and leg, causing him to crumble. At this point, Anakin gets back in the fight and uses Obi-Wan's lightsaber as well as his own to battle Dooku. But Dooku cuts Anakin's green saber in half, which isn't his actual saber. This one was given to him upon his rescue by the Jedi. In any case, after fighting Dooku more one-on-one with Kenobi's lightsaber, Dooku defeats Anakin by cutting off his right hand and force pushing him away. At this point, Yoda shows up and is like, "Time to take you to school, Dooku," as he uses the Force to draw his lightsaber and starts battling Dooku in probably the most epic Yoda lightsaber duel ever. The way Yoda bounces around like a little ninja while swinging his lightsaber, just wow. I still remember seeing this for the first time. It straight up gave me chills when I was a kid. Now, clearly Yoda would have won this fight because Master Yoda, so Dooku had to play on Yoda's emotions, forcing him to stop the collapsing cave around them from falling on Obi-Wan and Anakin while he got away. The film ends with Yoda telling Obi-Wan the shroud of the dark side has fallen, begun the Clone Wars has. Which guess what? Leads us right into the Clone Wars animated series. This series is one of the most fan-loved things in all of Star Wars, and that's for good reason. It is absolutely amazing. But it's also 7 seasons long, consisting of well over 100 episodes, so we're gonna simplify the hell out of it, Cliff Note style if you will. Although in the future, maybe we'll dedicate an episode to the Clone Wars because it definitely deserves it, and Lord knows there's more than enough content to fill out an entire episode. Actually, episodes. Anyway, in the Clone Wars, we see that Obi-Wan has become a general for the army of the Republic, and the Clone Wars are in full effect. Throughout the series, we see him on adventures with Anakin Skywalker, Ahsoka, Commander Cody, Captain Rex, and all the other great characters from the series. We also see him battle the likes of infamous bounty hunter Cad Bane on more than one occasion, who recently made his live-action debut in the Book of Boba Fett as well. But nothing is more prominent for Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars than when Darth Maul returned from the dead to seek revenge on the Jedi who cut him in half in The Phantom Menace, which Star Wars fans initially thought killed him. In the series, Maul would fight Kenobi several times and even killed Obi-Wan's former lover, Duchess Satine, out of revenge. This obviously crushed Obi-Wan, but like a true Jedi, he did not give in to hate, revenge, or anger. He's an OG. Ultimately, Obi-Wan is all over Clone Wars, so if you love Obi-Wan, you need to watch that series. It's 7 seasons, and it's great. But jumping to the next place in the timeline, we have, of course, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, which is set 3 years after Attack of the Clones. In Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan is a Jedi Master and also a member of the Jedi Council. Obi-Wan's involvement in Revenge of the Sith is obviously huge, but let's just go through several big takeaways. Like his fight with General Grievous after he finds a Separatist encampment. It was dope seeing Grievous use all those lightsabers while battling Obi-Wan. It's one of my favorite personal lightsaber duels from the prequels, and after an intense fight and chase, Obi-Wan uses a blaster to kill Grievous. Now, while all this is happening back on Coruscant, Anakin has turned to the dark side and joins Chancellor Palpatine, who's been revealed to be Darth Sidious. Anakin has pledged his allegiance to Darth Sidious and has been reborn under the new name Darth Vader. Sidious goes on to enact Order 66, which has all of the Republic's clone troopers turn on the Jedi. When Obi-Wan gets back to Coruscant, him and Yoda discover that all the Jedi in the Jedi Temple have been killed. They then send a beacon to all surviving Jedi to scatter throughout the galaxy and remain in hiding. Obi-Wan and Yoda then watch security footage that reveals Anakin was the one who killed several Jedi in the Jedi Temple, including the younglings. Yoda then goes off to confront Sidious as Obi-Wan goes off to confront Anakin. Obi-Wan then visits Padme to ask where Anakin could be, but while talking to her, he realizes that Anakin is the father of her unborn child, or as we know, children. But either way, Obi-Wan has to confront Anakin for his crimes, which he does on Mustafar, telling Anakin, "You have become the very thing you swore to destroy." This leads to their iconic fight, which inevitably ends with Obi-Wan's victory. But who could forget how it ends? Obi-Wan declares the battle is over as he has the high ground, to which Anakin just says, "You underestimate my power." At which point he leaps over Obi-Wan, but Obi-Wan slices off several of Anakin's limbs before he even lands on the ground, causing Anakin to fall near the flow of lava, where he yells, "I hate you." Obi-Wan says, "You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you." Anakin then catches fire, which disfigures him. Obi-Wan then leaves Anakin there to die and returns to Master Yoda as they watch Padme give birth to her and Anakin's twins, Luke and Leia. Yoda tells Senator Bail Organa and Obi-Wan that the children must be kept safe and hidden away from the Sith. So Senator Organa adopts Leia, and then Yoda tells Obi-Wan to take Luke to Tatooine, where his relatives live. Obi-Wan then says, "I will take the child and watch over him." From here in the timeline is the brand new Obi-Wan Kenobi series. The new Obi-Wan Kenobi series takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, and Luke Skywalker is 10 years old in the series. But at the time of shooting this video, we don't know much about it. All we know is it's going to be the rematch of the century between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. I cannot wait for this series. Words cannot even express how excited I am. Then after this, we have the animated Star Wars Rebels series, which is set 14 years after Revenge of the Sith and 5 years before A New Hope. The biggest takeaway with Obi-Wan in the series, and spoiler incoming, is that he finally kills Darth Maul once and for all. This happens in Star Wars Rebels Season 3, Episode 20, Twin Suns. Now before wrapping up Obi-Wan's appearances in the prequel Star Wars trilogy, I do want to say there is a lot of Star Wars Marvel comic books and even novels that are in canon that add to the mythos and take place in between a lot of these films and shows. We even mentioned a few of them like the comics, but we didn't mention all of them as it's ever expanding and constantly growing. So let's wrap up with the original trilogy. In the original trilogy, specifically Episode 4 A New Hope, we see Obi-Wan as a 57-year-old hermit who goes by the name Ben Kenobi on Tatooine. He would end up rescuing Luke Skywalker from a band of Tusken Raiders. We then return to Obi-Wan's home where Obi-Wan tells Luke that his father was the greatest star pilot in the galaxy, as well as a Jedi and good friend. He then gives him his father's lightsaber. After this, R2 plays a recording of Princess Princess Leia and the famous "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope" hologram message. Obi-Wan then convinces Luke to help him rescue Leia and bring R2-D2 to Alderaan, as R2 has information inside of him that's vital to the survival of the rebellion. Long story short, Obi-Wan would try to mentor Luke as much as he could on their mission to save Leia and get R2-D2 to the rebellion. But as Han Solo, Chewbacca, and Luke save Leia and get her on the Millennium Falcon, Obi-Wan keeps Vader busy by fighting. Obi-Wan then lets Vader swing through him as his body mysteriously vanishes. Then at the very climax of the film, during the Rebel attack on the Death Star, Obi-Wan speaks to Luke through the Force while he's piloting the X-Wing, saying, "Use the Force, Luke. Let go, Luke. Luke, trust me." So Luke does and turns off his targeting computer and uses the Force to deliver the kill blow to the Death Star. Then in Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, Obi-Wan appears throughout the film as a Force spirit, or Force ghost. The first time he appears as such is within the first 30 minutes of the film on the ice planet Hoth, where he tells Luke, "You will go to the Dagobah system. There you will learn from Yoda, the Jedi Master who instructed me," which is yet another instance of Obi-Wan saying Yoda trained him. Once Luke goes there and finds Yoda, Yoda is skeptical, but Obi-Wan talks to Yoda through the Force and convinces him to train Luke. Then later on, Obi-Wan appears once again to tell Luke not to leave Dagobah to try to rescue his friends on Cloud City. But of course, Luke ignores this and goes anyway. Then in Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, Obi-Wan appears as a Force spirit once again after the death of Yoda on Dagobah. This time he acknowledges to Luke that Darth Vader is indeed his father, which Yoda previously confirmed, as well as alluding that Luke has a sibling, aka his sister, Leia. Fast forward to the end of the film, once the Empire is defeated, Darth Vader helps Luke defeat the Emperor and then dies in his son's arms. We see Obi-Wan appear at the celebration on Endor, alongside other Force ghosts such as Yoda and now the redeemed Anakin Skywalker. And just like that, friends, you have the history of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I hope this was a helpful recap and refresher of Obi-Wan's history over the years to get you all excited and up to speed for the brand new Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And I, for one, cannot wait to see Obi-Wan come face to face with Anakin Skywalker, who's now fully Darth Vader for the first time since the Higher Ground limb trimming. Now, this is usually where we go into powers and abilities and reading recommendations, but he's just a very powerful Jedi, and we all know what their power set is. Although it does differ slightly from Jedi to Jedi, but not enough to recap it. And for reading recommendations, you really just have to watch and read all the appearances we listed throughout. Other than that, let us know where Obi-Wan ranks on your list of Jedi and your excitement for the new series down in the comments. First up for the week of May 25th, we have Something is Killing the Children, issue 23. This is one of the best creator-owned comics currently out there. If you're not reading it, get on it. Now we have Batman Beyond the White Knight, issue 3. The future of Gotham is coming to destroy its past. Is Batman a murderer? After discovering Bruce Wayne facilitated the murder of his father, Terry goes on the hunt, ready to unleash as Batman Beyond. Here we have Gunslinger Spawn, issue 8. As Gunslinger comes to terms with his new life in the present day, a revelation from his past will threaten to destroy his future. Now we have Hulk, issue 7. In the third installment of the epic crossover between the Hulk and Thor series, Iron Man interrupts a pivotal moment of Hulk and Thor's battle to settle a score. And finally, we have DC vs. Vampires Hunters issue 1. DC vs. Vampires is easily one of my favorite monthly titles right now, and this one-shot based off the miniseries looks great. And that's gonna bring today's episode to a close, but if you like this Star Wars themed episode, check out this one right here. And if you like all of our content, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. It always helps us out. But I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.